Hi everyone, welcome to Stories Told by Us. I'm Mariana.
And my name is Ron.
And this is episode 7.
The Abduction of Hickson and Parker.
Oh, I've never heard of Hickson and Parker.
Not many people have.
No.
Actually, there's I only found one article on this abduction.
Is this alien abduction or?
Yes.
Oh, supposed.
Supposed.
So another alien abduction.
Yeah. So that can go either way. It can be really crap or very interesting, or very exclusive. So, please tell me, Mariana, you look very pretty today.
Thank you.
When was the last time you got abducted by aliens?
I've never been abducted by aliens as far as I know. How about you?
Just by you.
Thank you so much.
I mean, I would have.
Should have
Otherwise,
known that was coming.
how else did I marry you? Well, this happened. Let's get on with it.
Yeah.
This happened in 1973.
Okay.
In a small town in Mississippi. Everything happens in America. Or it's like they only report it in America.
Yeah.
Or aliens just like Americans because they're weird.
No offense to Americans.
No.
No, I think it's just because obviously they've got so many people, like the population is so huge, and I think as well, possibly their media. There's more media. I don't know. I'm just making that up. But no, you're right. Usually you hear stories of like crime and all sorts, and it's America generally.
Yeah.
I know it happens in other countries. We just never hear stuff about other
it's
countries.
like America is very popular with weird
Crime.
things happening. Yeah. Where did the shooting happen? Oh,
In America.
Yeah.
That's what we hear here in Australia, though. Anyway.
Yeah.
We don't know if that is like a worldwide thing, but every time there's something a bit.
In America, and they hear, oh, another Australian was riding the kangaroo again.
Yeah. You're right.
Another Australian got attacked by a drop bear.
Yeah, which don't exist. All right. Anyway, let's continue.
Well, Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker Jr. This happened in 1973, like I said before. They went fishing in the night after work. So Charles was a foreman in a shipyard, and Calvin was just a 19-year-old kid that had moved there from a small town in Mississippi. This happened in a town called Pascagoula.
Pascagoula.
Yeah, it's a small town in Mississippi. And Calvin had moved from an even smaller town just to
Pascagoula.
Save money and get married. First mistake there. You're only 19. Why are you getting married?
No. Each to their own, though.
That's right.
No, each to their own.
Don't get married. So, as they were fishing, Calvin just went to get some more bait. So he turned around, get more bait, and he hears this zooming sound.
Are they on the boat, sorry?
No, they're not on a boat.
Oh,
They're just on the
You're
shore.
just making up the boat. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm on a boat. No, they're just on the shore. And Calvin sees blue lights flashing, just a bright blue light. Calvin turned around, and they both saw a 30-foot long object with a dome on the top.
Okay.
There was three lights. Sorry, no, there was three lights. There was three small creatures actually came up from this
UFO.
object.
An unidentified flying object. Was it flying?
It was flying. It was hovering.
Hovering. Yeah.
What would you do? I would freak out.
So hold on. So he's turned around to get bait. He's heard a zooming sound, and then in front of them,
Yeah.
on the water.
No, I don't know if it was on the water.
Just somewhere near them.
Yeah.
There's a thing floating, and 3 creatures come out of it.
Yes. 3 small creatures.
Ooh, I think I'd obviously be frightened, but I think the intrigue would be. I think I'd have to either hide and watch or stand and watch, but I'd want to know what it was. Like, hello, if you saw aliens actually come to the Earth,
That's right.
I'd be like, want to see what it is.
I'd be like doing like, you know, with sign when your fingers say, do you come in peace?
No, I wouldn't do that. I reckon I would hide and watch. I think I'd be scared, too scared to just stand.
I couldn't move. I'd be like,
Yeah, I don't know.
what the hell is that?
Don't know. You never know until that happens
And
to you.
then cry. Well, so these 3 creatures came out of the flying object, and all of a sudden, both men were paralyzed. They couldn't move,
Okay.
and they were taken by some sort of claw into the object.
Okay.
And it was one of the men said, I think Calvin was the one that said, I was floating. I floated into this thing.
So not a claw.
No, but he said it was what? It must have been claw. It was a claw, some sort of claw. Can't remember what the thing was,
Okay.
but it was a claw. And then he said, I floated in.
Well, which is it? Did a claw take you in, or did you float in, mate?
Maybe it was a laser claw.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Anyways, they both said that once they were inside, there was just bright lights, and they were taken to do some sort of medical inside. There was by some big eye. So there was a big eye in front of them,
Yeah.
and they heard some buzzing sound, mechanical and buzzing sounds.
Okay.
They don't remember that much. That's all they remember, and then next thing they know, they're back on shore.
Okay.
Calvin finds Charles Hickson finds Calvin. Calvin was frozen, but with his arms in the air and screaming for help.
So the other one was okay.
Yeah, they were both okay.
Oh.
I mean, they both went into the
Yeah, but
flying
one of
object.
them's frozen with his arms in the
Yeah,
air.
and then Charles finds Calvin. And that wasn't frozen from being
First
freaked out.
scared. Yeah.
Arms in the air, screaming for help.
Okay.
So they both saw each other, and then they ran for help.
Mhm.
When they got to the sheriff's office, obviously they don't believe them. Would you believe them?
I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. I think I'd have to see, like, I'd have to experience it real life and see if I felt the genuineness coming out of them when they spoke. I don't know.
That's right. So they went to the police. Obviously they didn't believe them. They said, these guys are drunk. We're gonna interview them and catch them in the lie.
Okay.
So what they did, they put him in a room together. They got the story. Then they left them in the room. This was on purpose. Left them alone in the room, and they left a recording machine recording.
Yeah.
Without the knowledge.
Which happens a lot
Yeah.
in all sorts of cases.
To catch him in a lie, so to see how they reacted when they were gone.
Mhm.
And they didn't change the story. They just kept talking about how scared they were.
Okay.
The police they said they tried everything to catch him in a lie, and they couldn't.
Mhm.
The captain of the sheriff's office at that time, he said that if they were lying, they should be in Hollywood, because they could not get them to tell the truth or to make it sound like it was a lie. Everything just checked out.
Mhm.
Again, this was a small town in Mississippi. It made headlines the next day, national news.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that came to the town to talk to Calvin and Charles. A lot of people that believed in aliens came to the town wrapped in aluminium foil, lying on the top of the cars and waiting for the aliens to come to get them.
Oh God.
So this happened for a few months. Yeah.
Oh.
Obviously the media was all over them, all over Charles. Charles was 42 at the time, so he was a bit more grown up.
Yeah.
Calvin was only 19,
Yeah.
so he freaked out. He sort of shut down and sort of escaped town
Okay.
once everything was happening.
Yeah, they'd be scrutinised for that long. They wouldn't be able to live their lives in peace.
No, yeah, he was scared. He was
Yeah.
scared for his life. He said that...
Scared that aliens were going to come again, or scared of the media?
The media, yeah.
Oh.
Both, actually. I'll get to that
Okay,
part of
sorry.
the story, yeah. Charles was very well known in town, so he coped a bit better with the media obsession with him. In fact, he was very open to tell anyone that asked him about the story. When Calvin, on the other hand, he actually shut down and he changed his story. He actually said that he fell asleep. He passed out when he went into this UFO, and he doesn't remember anything.
But the only thing they said in the first place was that there was a giant eye, and that they heard buzzing and
they were submitted subjected to a medical
exam. Okay.
Yeah.
But they didn't say exactly what happened in that medical exam?
They didn't say, no.
They just said that.
They just
Or
said
checked
that.
or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. They felt things, and they had scars, like a needle scar in their arm.
Ah.
But that's all they had.
Okay.
Like I said, Charles was very open to talk about his experience. Calvin left town.
Okay.
He actually went back to his own town and started working in oil rigs. And anytime he got recognized as this guy being taken by aliens, he actually quit because he didn't want to talk about it.
That's really sad.
Yeah, he was only young. He didn't want to be seen as a weirdo that was taken by aliens, I guess.
Yeah. Or either that, or it was all made up and a lie, and he was ashamed, or it could be anything, couldn't it? You just don't know.
Could be, yeah. Hickson, Charles Hickson actually wrote a book about it. And actually went to talk shows, so complete opposite to Calvin.
So he liked the limelight.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but he didn't make any money from it actually.
No, he just wanted to share his story.
He just wanted to share his story. Yeah. So slowly, as the years went by, Calvin Parker actually came out more into the spotlight again.
Okay.
And he actually, in 2018, he went on an interview and he actually said that he actually remembered everything.
So he was the one that was scared. He was a young one?
Yeah, he was a young guy.
So he now is
he said that
a bit more open.
he didn't want to talk about it because he didn't want to see, he was scared of people seeing him as a weirdo, and so he didn't talk about it. But he actually, as in 2018, he said that he actually remembered everything. And in fact, he actually, after going to the sheriff's office, he actually went home and took a bath in bleach because he thought that he had been infected by the aliens.
Hold on. So this happened in 1973, and he didn't speak until 2018.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a bit of a secret that he held from
40 years
everyone.
later, more than that.
Like,
Far out.
yeah.
Almost 50 years later.
Yeah, 47?
Yeah, far out.
Yeah, quite a bit.
It's not 47.
No, it's not.
Anyway.
For more maths lessons. Anyways. What else? The town actually, because it was something big that happened in the town, they were actually thinking of putting some sort of statue in like a marker where this incident happened.
Oh, yeah.
And as they were planning to do this marker, more witnesses came actually and said that they actually witnessed blue lights that night.
Wow.
But because they didn't want any media attention, they didn't say anything.
Kept it quiet, yeah.
One of the ladies, this happened in 2019 when they were trying to put the marker there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ladies called, what was her name? Maria Blair. She told a newspaper that she saw a blue light going up and down the river on that night, and that she didn't say anything, and that actually had bothered her for like 45 years that she had seen this thing and never talked about
Never
it.
said anything, yeah. It's a bit sad, isn't it, as well? Like when those things happen, whether it happened or not, you don't know. But just say it did happen, and these two men went, to the police station, and they were on the media and whatever. You sometimes, like if I was them, I wish witnesses would come forward and like validate that you're not just like crazy, or you're not just making it up for the fun of it. It's almost like, that validation or support of someone else going, actually, I saw that as well. And you'd be like, oh, look, like I'm not the only one,
That's right, yeah. And instead of calling people crazy, maybe be a bit more open-minded about it, yeah. Because there's things that we don't know.
Yeah, but I guess some people don't believe that. They just believe.
One of the sad things that happened,
it doesn't
actually.
exist. So.
One of the sad things is that when this was happening, there was a lot of some experts came to the town, and they said that the story checked out. The experts in UFOs, and everything was real. The police believed them that it was real. Skeptics said that, they called them liars, obviously, but they said that what happened to Charles was that he actually had, those dreams, the paralyzed,
paralysis.
The sleep paralysis with hallucinations,
Okay.
and Calvin was just very subjective to things, so he just went with it.
Oh, okay. But hold on, when the UFO specialist came, what did they say checked out? There was nothing there.
The whole story.
Just because of what they said?
Mm-hmm.
So they said, oh yeah, that's like common in alien abductions, or what?
I don't know, that's all they said, that it's checked out. But it couldn't, they couldn't prove that they were lying. Because when people say those stories.
You can't prove that they're lying.
Yeah, well,
regardless.
You change your story when you're lying, I guess.
Oh yeah, I get, but I think but unless for example, if they had taken photos, for example, then maybe you can disprove a photo as being set up or whatever. But if it's just someone's word, I think it's really hard to prove or disprove it.
That's right.
I could say something. And be really good at keeping that going and never changing it or altering what I've said. You still don't know if I'm telling the truth or not, unless there's physical proof of it.
I guess a bit dodgy that Calvin didn't want to talk about it. Maybe he felt bad for lying.
See, I would believe more the one that doesn't talk about it as opposed to the one that does, because I feel like if someone spoke about it constantly and went on talk shows and whatever, I'd feel like, oh, maybe they just want to be famous. Yeah, so they're keeping it going to keep that fame up. Whereas I would be more prone to believe the person that's shying away from the limelight, because I feel like they were more genuine. They're not out for the fame. They just were genuinely telling them what the experience that happened to them, and then they don't want anyone,
Yeah. Well, if Charles Hickson tried to make any money for it, it actually didn't work, because Calvin Parker, he said that up to 2018, just before Charles died, he was still paying for his electricity bill sometimes, because he didn't have any money.
So he didn't make any money. So what happened in the end? So one of them died, the older one died.
Charles Hickson died in 2018.
Never changing the story. Always. This is the same story. This is what happened. The end.
That's right.
Okay.
And Calvin Parker is still alive. He's married, got a couple of kids. He's in his 60s now.
Yeah.
And he's actually released his own book about it. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's more open about it now.
Yeah.
I guess people believe more. I think the people are more open to things now.
Well, I think,
with all the stories that have happened to other people.
But even I think back then, the 60s and 70s, there was a lot of, I don't know. I feel like there was more stories of alien abduction in the past, like even back in the 90s and 80s and stuff, than there are now. Like, have you heard any alien abduction stories in the media at all? Like, in years?
No.
Like, I've not heard any. I mean, I obviously didn't hear those because I wasn't alive back then. But, every time all the alien abduction stories I have heard of have always been more 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And I can't say that I've ever heard of an alien abduction story happening in the
Recently,
past
yeah.
like 10, 20 years, or at least that I've seen. Maybe it's been in media in other countries, but I've never seen anything,
Yeah.
you know.
Or maybe you're not allowed to talk about it.
Well, you know, Men in Black and all that.
That's right.
Yeah, but I just feel like it's kind of like, does anyone still?
Get abducted.
I don't know.
Or aliens just so disappointed with ourselves that they don't
Yeah.
want to come here
They're
anymore.
like, there's no point. Maybe they found a better, more intelligent
Yeah,
life
yeah.
form out there. Well, there you go.
That was the story.
All right, well, there you go. Another alien abduction. I mean, I'm sure there's hundreds of alien abduction stories. Why did you pick that one?
There was no podcast about it.
Oh, so you picked something a little bit more obscure.
Yeah, something
like
that is not like everyone
Else
has
covers.
done it. Yeah.
Right? No, I like it. That was interesting. And it's kind of like, and I do feel sad for people that have experiences like that. Not just alien abductions, but, you know, supernatural, paranormal experiences, or, you know, just anything when something happens to you and you believe it beyond everything else, and you're trying to get that across to, whether it's to a lot of people or whether it's just to your family or whatever, and to just have no one believe you.
It is sad.
Must be really hard, because I think there'd be a point where, well, in that situation of alien abduction, I know there's loads of people that would have believed them. You know what I mean? There'd been a huge feeling, yes, absolutely, it happened. But you know, there are situations where no one believes you, and I guess it's very easy to think that you are crazy.
Yeah,
Or
you start doubting yourself.
Yeah, second guessing yourself. So I'm glad that at least one of them lived his whole life and never allowed other people to, you know, make him change his story or feel like he had to say, oh, you know, I was just lying or whatever. I'm glad that he stuck to what he saw or what he felt, whatever, and he just went with it. Because I think it's important to be true to yourself, and if something happens, something happens. Not everyone's going to believe you, you know, but if you genuinely think that you had an experience, then just stick with it, I reckon.
That's right.
I do believe in that stuff anyway, so I reckon it did happen.
Yeah, I think there are aliens out there.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much, Ron. Great story.
Thank you very much for being with me.
We will see you next week. I'm sorry that this episode was a little bit late, but life happened.
That's right, yeah.
And we got busy.
Better late than never.
But we will have another episode next Monday. So please join us for that. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.